Greetings guys, this is David Banjo coming at you with another video. This time it's Nintendo World Championships NES Edition for the Nintendo Switch. You know that game that Nintendo shadow dropped the trailer for that would have shocked people if it wasn't for a leaker leaking information beforehand? Yeah, that game. That game that had 13 different NES games with 150 challenges? Well, let's talk about it in today's video. Competition. Who doesn't enjoy competition? Who doesn't enjoy being and watching in the competition? Whether it's a chef trying to outdo another chef and trying to please its customers with its fine cuisine and meals, or a maestro trying to compose another maestro in the world of music, or even in the video game field or in the sports world, a team dominating another team and vice versa, and the video game world where it has multiplayer games. People competing to be better than the other. Especially recently in the 2010s, mid-2010s, esports has been on the rise thanks to part of Twitch and YouTube, thanks to part of those streaming platforms. Back in the early 90s though, it didn't seem like that was the case. Why would you want to compete for cash prizes? Isn't the point of playing a video game just for fun? Well, Nintendo of America, which is the Nintendo, the division of Nintendo, the American division of Nintendo, organized a video game tournament called the Nintendo World Championships. Despite its name, only people from the US who could compete. They would submit their iScore via home video, and the highest score would get flown out to Dallas, Texas at Fair Park to compete for the finals. Now, I can't remember the exact name of the categories because there were 3 different categories if I can remember correctly. I do remember there was a kid category and also a teenager category, but they all competed for the same objective, which is to get a high score. There are 3 different challenges in Nintendo World Championships: Super Mario Bros. 1, Tetris, and Rad Racer. Not exactly in that order, but there were 3 games at that tournament, and you competed to get the high score, and the highest score wins. Well, the fast forward later, and we haven't heard of the Nintendo World Championships until in 2015 when Nintendo was highlighting its plans for its E3 2015 plans. They decided to bring back the Nintendo World Championships for the first time in 25 years. This was going to be a wonderful show because it's going to be with its Wii U console, the console at the time. Sure, it was a failure, and it is a failure when you look back on it, but it still had some great games. Consisted of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Splatoon, and the upcoming Mario Maker, which was to cap off its 2015 showcase. Fast forward to 2017 when the Nintendo Switch came out, in the launch year of the Switch, and Nintendo decided to do another Nintendo World Championships for the 2017 edition. This time with games such as Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and the upcoming Super Mario Odyssey, which was the next 3D Mario installment. It was really cool because you get to play a game before it was even released. It kind of reminded me of the movie The Wizard, the movie that came out in 1989 about a bunch of kids traveling to California to compete for a high score in the tournament. And the last game that they were going to compete in is Super Mario Bros. 3, which was unreleased at the time. So it's really cool, even though it's kind of like an unofficial homage to it, it's still really cool nonetheless. Now, people were wondering, what happened to the Nintendo World Championships? Is it just gone in a piece of pop culture? Are they not going to bring it back? Well, fast forward to early this year when Nintendo decided to bring back the Nintendo World Championships, albeit this time in the form of a video game. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. So what is that? What is Nintendo World Championships NES Edition? Well, it's a bunch of 13 different NES games with 150 different challenges altogether, or total, and you compete. Rather than competing for a high score, you compete for the fastest time. And that's simple as getting the mushroom in Super Mario Bros. 1, to clearing a dungeon in Zelda 1, to leaving the base, escaping a base in Metroid, to even clearing a zone in Kid Icarus. The list goes on and on. So that is Nintendo World Championships that has 3 different modes. The first mode I kind of touched upon, speedrun mode. It's the meat potatoes of of Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. You compete getting the fastest time. Whenever you get an A rank, you get this cool little pin you get to view in the gallery. You get to view it front and back. I wish that you could rotate the camera freely, kind of like in Smash Brothers with viewing all its trophies. Nonetheless, it's still cool viewing the pin, a little digital prize you can get after you get a really good time. So that's what it is. That's what speedrun mode is. The next mode is survival mode, where you compete with 8 other players online around the world to get the fastest time. Unfortunately, you cannot compete with them directly or in real time. You can only compete with their ghost data, which is unfortunate, but it's still a fun little mode regardless, where you could compete in 3 different challenges, and you get the fastest time. You get to knock out other players. The last mode is World Championships, where you can submit a time. There are 5 different challenges, if I can remember, and you get to compete and submit your best time. There's no limit to how many times you can submit, and afterwards Nintendo releases the results to you to see where you stack up against the whole wide world, which is really cool. I like that. There's also a bonus mode that you unlock after you beat all 150 challenges called Legendary Trial. That is a mode that separates the wannabes from the speed run savants. That has all the challenges, hardest difficulty, legend difficulty, trials or challenges, and you compete one after the other. There's no breaks. You have to do it all in one sitting, so it's a speed run within a speed run. That's really cool. I like that. If you're into a speed running, then that section and also that game is up your alley. Let's talk about the music and the presentation. The music, I like it. It's really good. In my opinion, it's really good. When you boot up the game, you're greeted with this box that details the history of the Nintendo World Championships. Talk about the real life event that happened in the early 90s and how they had it in 2015 and 2017. So that's really cool. And also the music has this very 1980s vibe to it. Whenever you go through the menus and it plays different instruments. I like that. That's really cool. I like how they went all out. Considering this, it showcased the NES that came out in the mid 80s during the time when Nintendo dominated the home console industry. Even though the home console industry is smaller back then than it is right now. And also, it's like this game was cryogenically frozen from 1985 to 2024. So I like that. Let's talk about the problems with this game. Even though this game is good, it still has ugly warts of problems. Number 1, remember when I said in World Championships mode where you can compete and you can submit your best times and you can view the leaderboard? Yeah, that's only after Nintendo closes the tournament and releases the results of the tournament to you. You cannot view the tournament in real time, who is winning or who is losing the tournament, which is unfortunate and really baffling because out of curiosity, why don't you want to see who is currently winning or who is currently beating the other player? You can watch a video in the game about who submitted the best time, sure, and you can actually view the player count increasing and decreasing in real time. Cool, but you cannot see the leaderboard during the tournament. That's only afterwards, and there's no global leaderboard either, which is really baffling for a game that's promoting speedrunning and competition. The other problem I have, number 2, is sometimes survival mode and World Championships have the same games in the challenges, which kind of defeats the purpose of competition because it kind of feels like the novelty wears off quicker in that sense. That is unfortunate, but I wish there is sometimes where it has like all the games, all the challenges are the same or are different rather, but it's still unfortunate that sometimes World Championships and survival mode have the same challenges in competing. And also when you're playing in speedrun mode, the novelty kind of wears off if you're kind of tired of replaying the same challenge. It kind of wears off. But if you're a speedrun fanatic like I am, because I do watch Twitch a lot, especially the speedruns, that game, like I said, is up your alley. That game is $30 digitally. You can get it on a deluxe set, $60 if you decide to buy the game at your local retailer, sorry. And it has the physical copy of the game along with a bunch of goodies you can get. So if you're a retro gamer, a retro collector, yeah, it's all for grabs. The final score for the game for the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, it's a 7 out of 10. It's a good game. It's a nice game, a time killer if you're waiting for the Switch 2, and if you already got knocked out some of the backlog for the AAA Nintendo Switch games, then that's a really good time killer for you. So those are my two complaints for that game, but otherwise it's still a solid title, especially for 30 bucks. I wish it was a little cheaper, like probably 25 or 20, but it's still a fine title nonetheless. That is it for my review of Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Thank you so much for watching. Have you guys played NES Edition? Let me know in the comments to see if you like or dislike and agree or disagree with my opinions. Let me know, and until next time, peace out.